because we're descending now. To be careful not to go beyond flight idle here. 3,500, 1,000 to go. So that's the descent checklist. Pressurization is set. PWS flaps as required. Briefing MSA speeds. The approach speed. Yeah, is again around 111 or so. Forgot what this one is. Yeah, so that's the approach speeds that we should not undergo. And I forgot to press altitude select. So happened again. I forgot to press altitude select with the result. We are now have to climb. That's something I really need to watch out in this airplane. I keep forgetting, because when you fly so many other planes where this is not an issue, you tend to forget. So SOPTO, we said we want to be at 3,500 and remat at 3,000. I thought that I had changed this to 2,500. Let's stop this here and go to 2,500 with a very slow descent rate. About 500, and let's press altitude select so that we don't undergo it again. Now we need to return again power to a lower setting. So for the landing we need to start setting up a few things again. First of all, we turn on the pumps again. Standby hydraulic PTU put on. Hydraulics checked. Passenger signs, they're still on. Caution panel black. Cabin is secured. Yeah, caution panel is black.
2,500.
Okay, let's see. So we're approaching remat now. There is some display error here. That's not quite right. Okay, let's not get too fast. And we are still descending, and I'm now going to really try and bring back the powers so that we start reducing speed here, so that we can bring out the flaps. I don't have the exact flaps speeds, but I think that somewhere under 280 or so we should be able to bring out the first stage, which I'm doing now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into heading hold, heading select, and I'm going to switch to VOR 1. I'm going to arm the localizer. Oh, and I need to be careful, because with all this talking, I haven't watched my speed. Almost. So now the autopilot should be holding our speed. And we're speeding up now. I think I have one stage flaps too much. Is it? So localizer is captured. Fast again. Yep, so the localizer has been captured. Let's put the heading here on 272. I'm arming the approach mode now. So the glide slope is now armed, as you can see here. Need to be very careful with the speeds. And I think I will try and stay a little bit above the blue markers. So waypoint alert just means that we have crossed another of our waypoints. So we have a message. Press on the message button, alert above VNAV altitude. That's okay, no problem. So I'm keeping the speed now a little bit on the high side. We can see that the glide slope is alive. The localizer we haven't fully intercepted yet. But that should be happening any moment. The condition levers need to be max for landing. We have set flaps fully now to flaps 35. So the glide slope is slowly coming in. The localizer hasn't really been captured the way I would like it to be. We're now starting the descent, so I'm going to take out a little bit of the power. And we have started with the descent to follow the glide slope. Okay, that's the altitude alert. I'm going to put in 3000 as go around altitude. And again, we need to be conscious of speed here. Now I don't think this is an auto land, so at some point I will need to take over. So I'm getting ready here now. Yeah, so landing checklist is also complete. Yep. Okay, so meanwhile we are nicely aligned also with the localizer. And now the trick will be not to get too slow and not to get too fast either, which is always a tricky thing. Oh yeah, I haven't
1000.
Yeah, doch, decision height is 200. And I'm now trying to take over. So autopilot. So we're already digressing a bit from the localizer. Not sure what kind of wind we do have.
500.
Need to correct for that. And we are too high, so I'm going to go down a little bit further. We're still too high.
Plus 100.
So, okay, we're getting too high again.
Minimums. Minimums.
And yeah, I think
100.
it's going to work out now, but yeah, I think it's going to work out.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Knots. Very nice. We have landed. I'm going to put the control lock on again. Cleaning up. We have a bit to go here on the runway. Don't want to turn around now. That worked out reasonably well. I need to turn on the steering thingy again. Maybe I should program myself a key for that as well. Because now I can use the steering tiller again. Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah, still very sensitive, this thing. I think we're getting a little bit too fast here. So, the control lock is on. Power. It's hard to see where the thrust levers really are. I've put myself some markers here on the throttle, the side-tip throttle, because it's very difficult for me to know where exactly I am and when I'm in flight idle, when I'm at disk, when I'm going into beta. So let's clean up. Taxi lights on, the other lights off, and flaps are up. Gas lock is set. Yeah, I didn't actually use the... completely forgot about the hood. Okay, let's bring up the hood. So that's what it looks like. Now let's see if I can do... I want to get to the gate. I want to get to gate 1. Request to follow me. Yes. So we're going to wait for the follow me now. And in the meantime we go through the after landing. Control lock is on. Anti-collision light red. Yeah. Flaps 0, weather radar standby. Standby. And fuel pumps off. Flight lights taxi. Taxi light is on. Ice protection off. Main bus ties still tight. Jaw damper we can turn off as well. And that's the after landing checklist. The next would be the shutdown by the flight officer. I don't really see a follow me car. I'm not sure about you, but I can't see one. Where it's hiding, but I can't see it. Oh, there it's coming. Was it waiting for me or what? Are you trying to... What's this, Kamikaze Joe? Yeah, that's the hood. As I say, I completely forgot about it. So, where'd it go? Camera error. Yeah. Doesn't look like... come on now. I'm not waiting for you. Idiot. Yeah, again, we need to be a bit careful. So the power management in this airplane is quite critical. So you can see you very easily get too slow, you very easily get too fast, and it is actually not easy to keep the power correct. It's not only the power levers, you need to also use the condition levers. So there are some automatic modes, but there are also some the manual sort of mode, and in this case I used the kind of manual way of doing things. So I need to reduce the power here, getting a little bit fast again. Yeah, I used the kind of manual way. That means I reduced also the condition levers. So that's the prop here. This is this setting here to 900 or so. There are some values, there are some tables in the real thing where you can sort of fine-tune things. Yeah, so that power and prop settings are what they should be. So we're almost there. Yeah, very digital, this whole steering tiller thingy. My old Logitech joystick is really starting to lose it a bit. I have it many years now, but some axes have really started to become jittery, and that is one of them. The Z axis, or the rudder axis, which I use as a steering tiller. It's a pity because it's really a good joystick for Airbus flying. The guy is already there, waiting for us. Let's turn taxi lights off. That's helpful, isn't it? Okay. Right. So. And I should probably put the APU on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the GPU connected with the switch. Follow me is arrived, is behind you. Yeah, very helpful. Please cut the engines. Yeah, I will do so in a moment. So I'm going to cut number 2. Oh no, I should have cut number 1. That's where the passengers get out. Okay, now cutting number 1. Okay. You parked a bit too far. Yeah, come on. Parking brake. And
Ladies and gentlemen, for your own safety, we instruct you to keep your seatbelt fastened during the entire flight. Please observe that this flight is a non-smoking flight.
luggage stuff. And we're going to ask for deboarding. Okay, shutdown checklist. The parking brake is on. Hydraulic pump PTU normal. The power and condition levers, disc, start and feather. Yep. Nose steering we can turn off. Weather radar is off. Transponder and TCAS standby. Yep. The bleeds are minimum and off. GPU, APU as required. We have GPU now. Condition levers, fuel off. Yep. Passenger signs are off. Lights are as required. And battery master is as required. And that finishes the flight. The passengers are deboarding now. Probably have a bus here. Yeah, and the luggage is being unloaded. Okay, so that's it. Another long session. So I guess it's almost 2 hours now. Yep, it's getting late here as well. Yeah, the Dash, the Majestic Dash HQ400 Pro edition, so the next level, and on prepared version 3 there are some itsy bitsy little problems, and I don't have v3.1 because it's just too much bother for me to now start all over again and install everything again with 3.1. They came out so quickly with 3.1 that I had hardly installed 3, then I needed to get another 10 gigabytes or 11 gigabytes of stuff instead of just getting a patch. Since they have changed their way of providing new versions, it has become a major pain. Updating has become a major pain because still a lot of the add-on manufacturers, they do not do what Lockheed tells them to do. And that means keeping everything out of the main prepared folder. They don't do that. So you end up with basically everything in that folder. If you want to do a new install, chances are things will not work afterwards. You will have to install things again. So it's a major pain. For me, it's a major pain. I don't have the time for that stuff. I want to fly and not want to install all the time. So I'm going to stay on version 3 now for some time, until the moments that I find out that I can't do certain things anymore because they have updated it beyond 3.0. Can happen, it's possible. So in this case it was quite difficult to get it going because I bought the Pro Edition and it was only for prepared version 2.5. I installed it in version 3, but there were some issues with it. I couldn't really use it. Wasn't very happy about that, obviously. Then there came this patch for version 3, which I now put in, and it apparently is working. Most of it is working. Now they created another patch which fixes issues, which is for version 3.1. If I put that in, then I get an error message, and also certain things don't work. So it's a pain. This whole prepared versioning stuff, as great as it is that you get updates all the time, it's a pain in the butt because it's very hard to keep up, and it's a lot of work every time the Lockheed Martin releases something new. It has become now a major work item for which I don't have time. I hardly have time to fly, so I don't want to sit there and install all the time, chasing versions basically. Yeah, so that's the thing. With version 3 it works, and it's a nice plane, a really nice plane. And I'm glad that I'm able to fly it again in prepared as well. So I would say that's enough for today. Until next time.